My hair's a mess. Hello, my fam. My stress and anxiety are through the roof, but thankfully I am late today for a very good reason. Hold on a second. I am late today because I was on a call with a lawyer. I'm not ready. I can't announce anything yet, but fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Okay, a lot to get to today. First, thank you for watching. I am Perez Hilton, the queen of all media, the original influencer, your number one source for everything. It ends with us saga. Wait, let me squeeze my ball. Oh my God, I'm going insane. We will be talking Justin Baldoni and more today. This is my Hot Topics live show. 30 minutes, not 30, but 25 minutes late. I don't even know. Jesus. A reminder, I go live every weekday here on YouTube at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 Pacific. If you can, please consider becoming a member. You get a badge like Hack the Planet, and also like Mary and Dr. A and Laura. The badge that Melissa has lets me know that you're a member. It supports, and your support would be great. And you also get to chat live with me during all of my Hot Topics shows, because these are member-only chats. However, everybody can stay watching. Please stay watching. And when the live stream for the Hot Topics show is over, everybody can comment then, okay? This is just a little safe space, a little kiki for me and my members as a way to thank them for becoming members of my channel and supporting in such a meaningful way. Because I think I have a good case against Blake Lively to maybe not sue, but like seek sanctions and costs. Like, my views on my channel are down a lot since I was served this subpoena in early July. My views are down a lot because I've been so freaking busy handling this mess by myself until now, but hopefully not by myself much longer. And I haven't been able to post. Actually, today your boy was busy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, I posted 6 videos today before this one. That's amazing. I love it. I love creating content. I love communicating with you all. I love sharing news, reporting on what's going on, and making it entertaining for you all. But YouTube is about views, and if you're not getting the views, you're not getting paid. And Blake Lively has hurt me mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. So anyways, long story short, if you can become a member, that would be so appreciated. All right. Before I get to Justin Baldoni, let's see here. Oh my God, I almost forgot this. Hold on. Jesus, my brain. Let me squish this. Let me squish this. What a day. What a day. And that Charlie Kirk awfulness. Ugh, and I hate people that are already politicizing this. Like, somebody I know shared a screenshot of an article from a few years ago that said that from Charlie Kirk, a headline, something that he said about, well, gun violence, death, we have to accept it. You know, it's just, you know, those that believe in the Second Amendment are going to have to deal with it. And I'm like, it's too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon. Like my brain is racing right now because I'm supposed to take my son to an event and I feel like canceling, but I don't want to flake on my son. Anyways, some positive news before we get to Justin Baldoni and his new Accuser, Unmasked. Harry Styles and Zoe Kravitz are continuing to go strong. And not only that, things are really serious between Harry Styles and Zoe Kravitz. So much so that Zoe's dad, Lenny Kravitz, joined Harry, not Prince Harry, but Harry Styles and Zoe Kravitz for a hang recently. They were all hanging out in New York City. Cool. I don't know. I think I would do, like, if I started to date somebody new, I'm not into numerology, but like I feel like I would give it at least 3 months before I introduce somebody to my mom, right? I don't think Harry Styles and Zoe Kravitz have been dating for 3 months. In fact, Harry was spotted making out with somebody else in June at Glastonbury in the UK. July, August, maybe he started dating Zoe Kravitz right after he was making out with that other girl, some music producer. Speaking of music news, this made me so happy. I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of both Hilary Duff. Well, actually, I'm a fan of Hilary Duff in every single way. I love Hilary Duff as a person. I love Hilary Duff as an actress. And I love Hilary Duff as a musician. I love Hilary Duff's albums, her songs. I just love her. I'm a big fan, and I was so pleased to see this report that Hilary Duff is returning to music. She just signed a deal with Atlantic Records to put out a new album. Yay! Let the rain wash out. I suck at lyrics. I'm coming clean. This is what dreams made of. Even her newer stuff like Sparks Fly and Chasing the Sun. I know my stuff. I love Hilary Duff. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Mags. So that made me happy. All right. Today, the majority of our live is going to be about this big development. Oh my God. Earlier this week, I shared with you all this bombshell explosive filing in the court docket with a signed, sworn, redacted declaration from a victim of Justin Baldoni, accusing him of verbal abuse. Everybody was running rampant, trying to speculate who it could be. I speculated that it was something not related to It Ends With Us. It didn't make sense because the declaration said that this drama happened between Justin Baldoni and this other person, and as a result, Justin was not allowed back on set. We've not heard that before. Thank you, court nerds. Welcome. Welcome. We have not heard that before. If Justin Baldoni would have not been allowed on set for any duration... Gracias, Luisa. Bienvenidas. Bienvenida. If Justin Baldoni had not been allowed on the set of It Ends With Us at any point, we would have heard that by now. It would have leaked. It would have already been included in a court filing. Some people were speculating, oh, it's Blake Lively's sister or this. No. After I made my video about that declaration and the motion for attorney's fees, I found out, because I told y'all, I was like, oh my God, I'm skimming this. Like I read the declaration in full to you all, but then the actual motion, I'm like, this is a rehash. They've requested for attorney's fees before, and I missed something critical. A footnote. The footnote revealed the identity without naming the person. It said that it was somebody involved in another project, as I deduced. But now, I would say 90% sure I know who it is. There's an asterisk. Maybe I should have put an asterisk in the headline of this video. I could be wrong about this. However, I have a feeling I know who it is. There was an article that came out very early on in the It Ends With Us saga that initially did not come across my desk, as they say. But this article has now started to gain traction in the red to the it, if you know what I mean. Thanks to my multiple communities that I'm a member of there, I've now seen this, and we need to go through this together. This was an exclusive. That's why it didn't gain much traction, because only one outlet reported it. And up until now, nobody else has reported this. This was a Deadline exclusive about Justin Baldoni. The headline, Race and Basketball. Former NBA star Craig Hodges locked in fight with Justin Baldoni's Wayfarer over documentary rights. They say, exclusive. Justin Baldoni spent much of the summer, this came out on September 27th of last year, the Deadline exclusive. Justin Baldoni spent much of the summer embroiled in a hushed battle with his It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively. Now, he's become entangled in another row, this time involving race and basketball. In 2021, former NBA star Craig Hodges, who won 2 championships with the Chicago Bulls, struck a deal with Wayfarer, the production company run by Baldoni and billionaire Steve Sarowitz, to turn his 2017 book into a documentary. Given the success of The Last Dance, the hit ESPN series featuring his former teammate Michael Jordan, the idea was to take a different look at the same period, using Hodges' book source material. However, the 3-point expert, Craig Hodges, never heard his name before, the 3-point expert has spent much of the past 12 months trying to get the rights to the project back after it was shelved by Wayfarer last year. Wait. I might need to change the headline of this. I need to make it a question mark, because I did not read this article in full. I just saw people on Reddit, saying that this was the guy. I don't know if this is the guy. Hold on. I don't know if this is the guy. Let me read. I think it's important that we all read the footnote that Blake Lively said in her filing, in her request for fees. Memorandum of Law in support. Here we go. It was footnote number 9. I remember this. Okay. I already changed the headline of this video. Okay. Footnote number 9 talks about the declaration. Yes, it is live, MB. Footnote number 9 talks about the declaration that got everybody talking this week about verbal abuse. Footnote number 9, according to Blake Lively's lawyer, says, This person who made the declaration, who is most likely willing to testify at trial, this person also had concerns with Mr. Baldoni, who they found to be verbally abusive, which resulted in him not being allowed on the set of the other project or involved in its marketing or publicity. Wait a minute. Oh boy, this is real bad for Justin Baldoni. Because now there are potentially two people outside of the It Ends With Us saga that could testify to provide context. I don't know, under what grounds would they testify? We've got this unnamed person. I don't think this is the NBA player, because this says that the other project happened and was released because Baldoni was not allowed to be on set or even involved in the project's marketing or publicity. But this other project hasn't even filmed or been released yet. It was shelved. Y'all, Reddit got it wrong. What the fudge? Reddit. Mommy sleuths and daddy sleuths. Let's finish reading this article. This is bad. This is bad now because it just goes back to what I said, y'all. I said both sides are likely going to want to settle for many reasons. Both sides have a lot to lose if this goes to trial. If Blake Lively cannot prove that Justin Baldoni sexually harassed her, that's a bad look for her. And then Justin Baldoni, is facing a potential loss himself, or all of this other dirty laundry being put on public display in front of the court. I agree, Dr. A, but it's still a bad look. Being accused of being verbally abusive when your whole brand prior to this was being kumbaya, hippie, love everyone, Baha'i faith. You know what I mean? Thank you, Marina. Appreciate you, Marina. I really think they're gonna settle. Anyways, back to this Deadline exclusive. However, the three-point expert has spent much of the past 12 months trying to get the rights to the project back after it was shelved by Wayfarer last year. Why wouldn't they give him the rights back? That's just awful. If you're not going to move forward with this guy's documentary, why not give him the rights back? This is why a lot of Justin Baldoni hardcores, Justin Baldoni apologists don't like me, because I'm not Team Justin Baldoni. I'm Team The Truth. I believe Baldoni, but I also call him out and the Wayfarer defendants when it's appropriate, when they do something wrong, like this. I would be so pissed if this was my life story and I agreed to sell them the rights to it, and then they shelve it, and they don't want to move forward with it, and they don't give me my rights back. What the fudge? That's lame balls. That's lame balls. Let's continue this though. Let's see here. There are financial issues at play, as regularly happens in Hollywood, but this latest skirmish also raises the question of race and who should be allowed to tell the story of a black man like Hodges. Well, shouldn't he have thought of that before giving his rights away? This article was clearly written with a slant. In his book, Hodges claims that He was blackballed from the NBA in the early 1990s for using his platform to stand up for justice and was unable to find another team after he was cut from the Bulls. In part, he says, because he criticized fellow black athletes who failed to use their considerable wealth and influence to assist the poor and disenfranchised. When the Chicago Bulls were invited to the White House in 1992, after their championship win, thank you, MB Shotzi, a dashiki-clad Hodges delivered a handwritten letter to President George H.W. Bush demanding that he do more to address racism and economic inequality. Initially, Hodges began working on the documentary, which had working titles including The Lost Dance and Whiteballed, with British Indian producer Jivy Singh. Wayfarer, which is responsible for Will Ferrell's trans road trip doc Will and Harper, then came on board to finance it. After the first director involved fell through, Hodges wanted Singh to direct and produce via his IFF content banner. That's when, oh, thank you, Mary. That's when things started to go wrong. There were early disagreements about the creative path for the documentary. Hodges believes some of this involved making his story more palatable for the NBA, a claim that Wayfarer denies. Oh, he actually gave an interview to Deadline. When I met GV, I realized he wanted to do justice to my book with an accurate portrayal of the time frame that the material covered. However, Wayfarer's involvement started a creative debate about framing Craig Hodges, he's talking about himself in the third person, in a palatable way that the NBA would accept, which isn't the essence of my book, Hodges told Deadline. Wayfarer never seemed interested in that version of the story. Justin Baldoni was definitely interested in virtue signaling and piggybacking off the hype of The Last Dance, but a lot less interested in the true weight of responsibility that came with accurately depicting the realities of being a black man in America. Baldoni and Wayfarer's CEO, Jamie Heath, who is black, wanted someone other than Singh to direct the documentary. The pair set their sights on Kirk Frazier, a black director, who helmed the ESPN doc Without Bias about Len Bias, the college basketball player who died 2 days after going second in the NBA draft. Welcome, Melanie King. Wait, is it Melanie King, the YouTuber? No. Melanie King, you've been a member before. Welcome back, Melanie King. Appreciate you. Frazier, who was born in Jamaica, has also directed docs such as Histories, Tuskegee Airmen, blah, blah. In a Zoom call reviewed by Deadline, which received permission to use the comments, Heath and Baldoni tried to convince Singh he wasn't the right man for the job due to his ethnicity, nationality, and experience. I promise you that as much as you feel no one knows Hodges' life better, no one knows it better than me, says Jamie Heath on that Zoom call. I'm his age, I've experienced it and walked through it. Jamie Heath is a black man. This Singh guy is not black. You might be a wonderful filmmaker, but the story is something that there might be some blind spots for you, Heath said on the call. Singh replied, we're all going to have our own subjective perspective, Jamie, but I asked you to articulate those nuances, and you said to me, and I thought this was slightly disingenuous, rather than articulating them for me and allowing me to grow and understand. This is wild. Like, this is an actual Zoom call that happened, and Justin Baldoni talks next. the producer who wanted to direct it, who had a relationship with the NBA player, said, and you said to me, GV, if you'd have experienced this, you wouldn't need to ask that question. To me, that felt like obfuscation rather than you trying to inform and illuminate me to what it was that I was missing. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do that. Justin Baldoni then said the following: racism in America is so unique to America that most people don't quite understand it, said Justin Baldoni. Oh no. Sending you healing vibes, Felicia. Baldoni continued. So when Jamie, as a black person, tells you, as a non-black person, if you'd experienced it, you wouldn't have to ask that question. It's coming from 50 years of pain and racism, of being thrown out of a swimming pool when he was 7 years old, and the white people had to drain the pool because a black person touched it. It comes from a place you don't know. Justin Baldoni trying to invalidate this British Indian man. I could be wrong, but I think that racism exists in the UK as well. And British people, from what I know, have been racist towards Indians or people of Indian descent in the UK. Or that's like saying, like, I've suffered. I mean, you might have suffered, but I've suffered more. Or we're like, oh God. I don't think that was the way to handle that. But anyways, Baldoni continued saying, we, as people who are not black, can never put the emphasis on the black people to tell us and teach us. This is a very important thing of why it's unique to America, why the director needs to be black, I believe, and from America. But what Justin Baldoni is not getting is the subject wants this, the subject who is a black man who advocated for black rights at a time when it wasn't necessarily cool to do so in the early 90s, who ended up suffering because of his actions. This black man wants this Indian British person to direct his movie. And Baldoni, this white man, is invalidating the desires of this black American. Oh, this is cray cray. This is cray cray. Who knew this live would go down here this way? Hey, Riley, sorry. Wow. The conversation, this is Deadline saying, the conversation touches upon the question of whether someone who isn't a black American, Hodges certainly believes so, but others, including Heath and Baldoni, disagreed in this insistence. Ultimately, Fraser, the black director that Wayfarer wanted, walked away from the project as he didn't want to get in the middle of the dispute. Wayfarer says that Singh passed on Fraser. Subsequently, Singh, the producer that Craig wanted to direct, is understood to have shot a considerable amount of footage for the documentary, and there is a rough cut of the film. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. It could be this. Wait, maybe Reddit got it right. Oh my God, I spoke too soon. Oh my God. Holy crapola. Wait, I gotta change the headline. I think it is this person. I think it is this. Well, this is why it's good to read everything. Oh my God. Singh, they shot the documentary. This other guy shot it. Wow. Oh no, Ryan. Sending you positive vibes. So, Jamie Heath gave a deadline a statement that says, let me read that last part again because it needs to sink in. Subsequently, Singh, the producer that the Black NBA alum wanted to direct his story, his documentary, that producer ended up filming and directing and shooting a lot of it. So when the footnote says Justin Baldoni was no longer allowed on set, it very well could be, or most likely is this, I think. That's what I get for doubting you mommy sleuths and daddy sleuths. Wait, where did you see that, honestly? I don't think the judge said that. Where did the judge said that where are you referring to the judge saying that he isn't going to allow any people from other projects unless it supports SASH? I don't recall reading the judge making that determination yet. In which filing? I don't recall that. Can you tell me the docket number or the name of the filing? Not that I'm doubting you, but I want to look that up. Anyways, if anybody knows, leave it in the comments section. Okay, not that I'm doubting her, but I like to look at things with my own eyes. So if anybody knows the docket number or the name of the file or whatever, let me know. Okay, Jamie Heath. So last sentence. Singh is understood to have shot a considerable amount of footage for the documentary, and there is a rough cut of the film, which has now been caught up in the rights battle. I think this is the guy. This is the declaration dude. So Jamie Heath, Baldoni's producing partner, says, the Craig Hodges story is one we at Wayfarer, and in particular myself, care a great deal about. A Black man being denied the opportunity to professionally practice his craft, all because he wanted to highlight what was happening to Black people in America in the 80s and 90s, is something we continue to see in current times, which is why we felt so passionate to pursue this project with the care and proper filmmaking team it deserved. While all stories involving Black people don't need to be told by a Black person, some do indeed require someone that has lived the experience, which is something Justin Baldoni understood and expressed vocally to those involved. I am proud to have a team of people who recognize this very important matter of having Black voices behind the camera, and it was never our intention to have to publicly defend our decision to stand tall for what we believed in from the start. Well, if you can find out and let me know in the comments section, honestly, I would appreciate it. No, I think this is the Accuser, West Palm Beach. I think. And so do mommy sleuths and daddy sleuths. While the dispute between Hodges and Wayfarer highlights the question of who should be able to tell certain stories, as with many other rows in Hollywood, it has now also become about money. Wayfarer is understood to have put around $1.1 million into the project, as well as having paid considerable funds to Hodges to cover living expenses, in addition to his contracted fee as a consultant during production. It's this guy, I think, and so does a lot of other people. The company is willing, this is so important. The company is willing to release its rights and has asked for $50,000 up front, in addition to $125,000 if Hodges and Singh manage to sell the project to another buyer. Okay, but tell me the docket number. Like, I need to look at it with my own eyes. Thank you, Nicole. That seems reasonable. The producer, it's only $50K. That seems fair. Hodges and Singh maintain that under the contract, they don't have to pay Wayfarer. They claim they have creative control as a result of a creative tiebreak in the deal and a rights revision. IFF issued a termination to Wayfarer, which they say they could do if the company had not fully funded the project 18 months after the start of principal photography. The producer says when Wayfarer offered to sell us the rights back for $50,000 plus $125,000 in add-ons, they contractually, in our view, were asking us to pay for something we already own. I believe they knew that the ongoing dispute would make it effectively impossible to onboard a third party to help fund and complete the project. Hodges, the NBA alum, wants to be able to finish the film. Quote, Wayfarer needs to step aside and relinquish any and all claims to the film. GV has the best intentions for the production and for me personally. His film is an honest and fair representation of the events and what happened to me. Wow. Let me see if I can look this up myself. Judge Lyman said only isn't going to allow people from other projects. I can't find anything yet. My OCD is killing me. Thank you, Nicole. Um, 124 CV. I don't know what. That's the name of the trial. That's not the name of the file. Let me open up the comments to everybody because I need to know this now. Okay. Does anybody know the docket number or the file name? Okay, but I need to look at this myself. Does anybody know the docket number or the file name or the date the judge said this? Because I don't remember this. Like, how could I have not remembered this? It was a motion to compel. Which one? Does anybody have the date? I need to look this up. Does anybody have the date, the docket number, the name of the filing? Anybody? 1949? What do you mean? That's not like, that's the name. There's not a docket is only up to 752. It's in the rules of civil procedure. Rules of civil procedure 1949. 1049. There's one. Okay. Wait, 1949 or 1049? Wait, 1949? Somebody else said 1049. Fudge. Let me look up both. Y'all are driving me crazy. This is driving me crazy. So there is no rule of civil procedure in federal court that's 1049. There are some in state courts. And I don't think there's one that's 1949 either. I just looked that up. That one doesn't exist either. What the fudge? Neither of those are rules of civil procedure. What does propensity mean in law? I don't understand what that means. All right, whatever. Until I read it with my own eyes, I'm not going to believe it. There's a lot of misinformation that can happen, or I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just saying non-lawyers can sometimes perhaps misinterpret things. I don't know about propensity. All I'm saying is people in the chat were saying that Judge Lyman said something. And I'm like, okay, where? Because I don't remember reading that. Oh, Betty. Gracias, bella. Oh, full moon rising. Thank you. All right, let me look it up. Y'all are driving me crazy. Federal Rule 404. Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 404. Character evidence, other crimes, wrongs or acts. Okay, this is relevant. Evidence of a person's character or character trait is not admissible to prove that on a particular occasion, the person acted in accordance with the character or trait. Exceptions for a defendant or victim in a criminal case, that does not apply here. Exceptions for a witness. Evidence of a witness's character may be admitted. No. Sorry, I'm just reading what the law says. All right, who cares? So this person won't, it's possible this person won't testify in court. I saw a headline from People that said he would. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to make that claim. Other people could or could not. Okay, not actually Golden talked about it. Okay, great. The gist of my video is not even about whether this person's going to testify at trial or not. It's about the identity of the person. And now we know. And it's still a bad look. I think it's still a bad look for Baldoni and crew. All right, my fam. Now at least I understand this. So it's highly likely that this person won't testify at trial, but the guy could start giving interviews. He could start trash talking Baldoni as a way to get out of this contract. And actually, I probably would. Justin Baldoni is holding me hostage, a black man. The contract says I should be let loose. Justin Baldoni is keeping me tied up, Bad. It's bad. All right, y'all. That's it for now. Holy hell, extra long live today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for letting me know about the exact rule so that I understand it. And hopefully I have some good news to share with you all later this week. All right? I love you. I thank you. I will see you tomorrow at the same time, 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 Pacific. And a reminder, check out my new merch at buypopstuff.com. Get a cameo from me at cameo.com/Perez Hilton. Become a member of my channel. I will pin a top comment here with information on how you can become a member. Like, comment, share, you know the drill. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, and I don't understand what does top fans means, but thank you to Mary and Nicole and Marina and Bere and Full Moon Rising and Ryan and Roses and the realist Barat and Jen and Hack the Planet and everybody else. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Bye.